Owen. I'm doing my personal report for my COMM 300 class, and I chose to do it as a video report because it is really hard for me to articulate what communication means to me and why it is important to me, why I'm here in a written format, because there's just so much that I feel like I want to say and articulate through that. And communication has always been a priority that my parents had for me in terms of pushing me to articulate my feelings and thoughts and ask questions at a really young age to a variety of different people and in different environments. And as I grew older, I saw it in a more academic sense and saw it in more of a career sense. And I chose that because not only I'm passionate about it, but because it's involved in every aspect of existence. I feel the opportunities for an education in this are endless. And kind of the things that I wrote down during the lecture that when the professor first posed this question, I wrote down a few different aspects of what I think communication means to me. And so I wrote down symbols, physical and verbal language, intuition, understanding, and relationships. And so the symbols part we kind of talked about in the sense of art and creation and objects all can become symbols, and that is a way of communicating. It doesn't have to be necessarily like spoken. And I think intention plays a big role in that communication. What did an artist intend to express, or what is this symbol's intention, and also how it's received, and that is completely nuanced and subjective, I think, to each person. And then physical and verbal language, obviously talking and communicating, as well as the way you're moving, your posture, your eyes, pointing at things. I think it doesn't just have to be body language while you're listening to someone, but literally communicating with your body to send a message. I think some people don't consider that as much as just when people are listening and how their body language is. As well as intuition and understanding. I say intuition, I think it falls into that cultural aspect where if you have an understanding of your community and your culture, you could see little movements, reactions, actions that are going to create a response or something that you are listening to and understanding. It's just not as much verbal language. I see this come up in my job a lot, working at a women's shelter. There are people in a lot of different places, mentally, physically, emotionally, and that may come out in completely different ways. I feel like because I've had years of experience working with women who have experienced sexual and domestic violence and a lot of different systemic oppressions, I have a little more intuitive understanding of what certain things might mean that if someone who's not as attuned to that culture or community may not really understand. So I think my job, why I bring that up, is because those different forms of communication and intuiting and different things that I'm interacting with on a daily basis, I feel like there's room for improvement on a societal level of improving the way we're communicating with each other and radicalizing it, changing the forms that we deem are the most academic or the most forms of communication that can be praised. I think we can expand that and radicalize that to mean and do different things that's going to serve more people. We bring up this, I think it was the constructivist or the critical approach. It was the critical approach where we're questioning the power. And so I think doing nonprofit work, being involved in social justice, the power in communication lies with dominant culture. And so although all things can be interpreted for everyone in their own way, and I do think that is a truth about communication, there is one truth that holds more power and more dominance, and that influences us more. So while it is its own truth, we could change it so that more people's ways of communicating and ways of expressing their truth is validated. So I think that's a big motivator as to why I'm here. I really do think a big piece that was touched on in the lecture is how experience and things reflect communication. And I think that's so important to recognize. And I like how in the models, as they kind of progress with time, where I think they're all, kind of valid in their own way, I can see the improvement and the evolving of it in terms of including that experience, including how, and I'm sure these models have been impacted by clearly industrialization and capitalism, with technology and different things like that. So just recognizing like how it has evolved and how I feel like we can personally continue to radicalize and change it. So what communication means to me are kind of those different topics that I touched on: the symbols, verbal and physical language, relationships, intuiting understanding. And I'm here because I think it brings so much opportunity. It is so intricate into every aspect of our life, and we can really like radicalize and open communication up to more people that are outside of this dominant culture, and make it more equitable for everyone.